Okay, so earlier I said that I tried to get as many games as I could between ranks 10 and 5, and unfortunately, this game is not one of them. We're going up against a priest, which is going to turn out to be control priest. But unfortunately, during my ladder climb, and this is typical every time I've ever laddered in Hearthstone on ranked, I see a bunch of control priests, and then once I hit rank 10, all of them disappear. I didn't face a single control priest after I hit rank 10. So this one's lower on the ladder than I would like, but the reason I'm uploading this one is because it actually is a pretty good match. And one other thing I wanted to mention as well. Oh, by the way, we're gonna keep this whole hand. This hand's amazing. The other thing I wanted to mention is that this is an older list. This list for this particular game, I'm running 2 Cogmasters over the Zombie Chow and the Defender of Argus. But this is the other reason I picked this game too, because the Cogmasters aren't in my opening hand, so it didn't really make a difference in this game. But they perform about the same. I like Cogmaster better against Control Priest if I have a 2-drop mech. But again, the situation is never going to come up. So I do like to play Northshire Cleric against Priest because it's difficult for them to deal with, especially if they didn't play anything on their turn. So my opponent's going to do the typical turn 2 Priest. That's just what you do. We've been doing that since Classic, before Nax. So I'm gonna go ahead and drop Mech Warper. Hopefully my opponent's not able to deal with it. And here comes the Deathlord. Because I'm not running Ironbeak Owl, Deathlord is extremely difficult for this deck to deal with unless you have Shadow Word Pain in your opening hand. That's why usually I like to keep Shadow Word Pain against Control Priest. And it's just going to get worse from here. It's got the turn Deathlord into Velen's Chosen. So originally the plan was to, on turn 5, coin out Cabal and then just take it. But now we're not going to be able to do that now. So realizing this, I'm just going to go ahead and coin out the upgraded repair bot, and this is the only way to really deal with Deathlord if I don't have Shadow Word Pain in my opening hand. I just stack the board with as much damage as possible and just try to overwhelm it, even through the hero power. So that's the plan. But he has Holy Nova, wipes my entire board except for an owl, so now I am forced to go for this play. I have to go for the Shadow Boxer, heal up, and hope that I can ping the Deathlord so I can finish it off. And I don't get it. So I was deciding on whether or not to attack with Owl, and I don't. And of course, that's going to be my opponent's reaction. Of course, the sorry not sorry reaction. So he's gonna power shield it, then drop a Belcher. So it's just getting worse and worse from here. But thankfully I draw something to kill the Deathlord, so I go ahead and just Nova right now, and Shredder gets pulled out, and I'm gonna throw the sorry not sorry back. So that's some nice little exchanges going on. Alright, so Cleric's gonna come down. I'm gonna draw a card off of it and get the free trade with Belcher. And out comes the Frostwolf Grunt. And it's just gonna flood the board. So Control Priest, when you're playing against Control Priest with this deck, in my experience, it's kind of been just a back and forth type of thing. You're pretty much going back and forth. Both of you have Elise, but this deck you run Brand and Elise, so you have a higher chance of getting better value. So, okay, so he's going to trade with Curator into the Grunt. Trade there, and then finish it off with the Hero Power after dropping Alkanai. But going forward, I normally don't do this, but let's see. You're going to see... I go for the Mech Gorilla Bot so I can get something else. Okay. So we just discover a bunch of stuff. So that we can just keep a stream of threats coming. So that way we don't just run out of gas. But going forward, and normally I don't do this with Northshire Cleric in this matchup, but I just felt inclined to do so. I'm actually gonna... Northshire Cleric does get Velanced, and I'm actually just gonna continuously Hero Power and heal my minions and just keep drawing cards, because I just don't want to get in a situation where I run out of gas. Alright, so that was done in the correct order. Here I just drop Elise first, because I realize I want to get the map in there in my deck before he does. And he's going to play Elise here as well. So this is pretty typical of the matchup. This is pretty much how it goes. It's just a lot of back and forth. Sometimes you have the Shadow Pain for Death Lord. He misplays there, forgets that I have Northshire Cleric on the board, and heals his own guy, and I get to draw a card off that. I'm being very careful with the Sneeds I picked up and the Wobbling Runts, because I don't want Sneeds to get entombed, because I don't want to have to deal with it later on. And the Runts I don't want to get stolen by Cabal. So that's why I'm choosing to play smaller guys. I mean, here I'd choose to... I value the Cogmaster a little bit more, but I'm not going to play Mech Warper because I don't want to give it to my opponent for free. And then I Powered Shield on the Cogmaster just to get it out of range of his Dark Cultist. And I just let him have Elise, which is fine. But and here comes Shadow Word Pain. This is actually really good timing. That was a good pickup. So we'll take care of the front half, kill the back half, and then just like I was saying before, I'm just going to Hero Power and just keep drawing cards just so I can keep up with them. And I think it's here where I just decide to go ahead and drop Mech Warper just to see if I can bait him to maybe Cabal it, since it seems like he's starting to get pretty far behind. But yeah, this is normally how my experience has been with Control Priest. Going up against Control Priest, I should say. And I think Mech Priest probably had issues before going up against Control Priest. It didn't have sustain. Yeah, it didn't have you couldn't sustain against the deck because you eventually just ran out of gas. But now that we have all these discover mechanics, and I'm running Bram Bronzebeard, which at first I ran with Elise just so I can get double map and have a better chance of getting Golden Monkey. So I have a late game that I can pretty much rely on. Because this deck, even though it's tempo based, it sticks around. I think here I finally decided to just go for it and play Wobbling Runts. And I just played Dark Cultist. I still hold on to Sneeds though. And I don't want to go full Northshire either. So I'm checking how many cards both of us have left. So here he's got a tough turn here because I don't have a lethal, but I've got 12 on board, potentially 14 looking from his end. I mean, I don't have a mech in hand, but he doesn't know that. So here he makes a pretty interesting play. I don't want to say that's amazing, but he healed my guy to give my guy more health, so that way when he played Vulcan, his Vulcan would end up having more health. So that was an interesting play. But here, I like to save Entomb for, honestly, Ysera when I go up against a control matchup, because I do the same thing with Control Warrior, because for some reason a lot of the ones I was running into were running Ysera along with Elise and that whole removal package and what have you. So I'm doing the same thing here. I do not want to Entomb Vulcan. I don't think it's worth it. I think the only target is Ysera if he's running it. So here I make a bit of a misplay though, because I'm trying to kill Vulcan and then still set up lethal for next turn, but I wanted to play Bran and Lothar, which I do end up doing, but then I missed the heal on Cogmaster, which is unfortunate, but it's not gonna matter. Here my opponent ends up healing my Cogmaster anyway, and then I think that's it. He's just gonna concede because he plays Monkey just to see what he can get. But yeah, that Bran into Lothab to basically make it so that he can't play any spell at all. That's gonna end the game, because I'm just gonna Shadow Word Death the Monkey, and then actually I Entomb it. Either way, let's hit him up with the lethal. But yeah, that's gonna be the game, guys. I know this was a bit lower ladder, but I still hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll catch you on the next one.